Deportation! No more deportation!
Protesters lying in the road try to stop what opposition MPs have tried to foil in the Commons, and bishops have written a letter to a newspaper to describe as shameful.
Deportation!
But while vans did take asylum seekers from their detention centre in Heathrow to an MOD airbase in Wiltshire to be flown on this aircraft to Rwanda, lawyers would eventually stop it from taking off. Earlier, the Prime Minister justified the policy.
What is your alternative to people being shipped across the Channel in very frail, unseaworthy dinghies, risking their lives and undermining the rule of law? What's your alternative? We think it's a sensible partnership we've set up with Rwanda. Yes, it may take a while to get working properly, but it doesn't mean we're not going to keep going.
Earlier, last-ditch legal pleas at the High Court seemed desperate. Iraqi Zahir, not his real name, was one of those scheduled to get on the flight and spoke to me from his detention centre.
I'm exhausted and I couldn't sleep tonight. My mental health is, it's been very bad. Stressed, exhausted. Today I have a nightmare.
What are your hopes for today?
I hope that flight be cancelled.
And as the vans arrived at Boscombe Down Air Base in Wiltshire, news emerged that Zahir had won an injunction to keep him off the aircraft. And another Iraqi's departure was being halted by the European Court of Human Rights. The European Court says it only grants such requests in exceptional cases where the applicant would otherwise face a real risk of irreversible harm. And the campaign group Care for Calais, which is trying to stop these asylum seekers heading down this runway to Rwanda, say this opens up the opportunity for other claims. But all this while the clock is ticking. Meanwhile, in Kent, another group of migrants were rescued from a dangerous crossing. Sky News counted around 260 people arriving in Dover Tuesday morning. The government wants to send a signal that these desperate trips across the Channel could be a one-way ferry to Rwanda. Some are too young to understand any of it. Others don't want to believe it.
No Rwanda.
But as the plane sat on the tarmac, it emerged rulings by judges both in the UK and the EU meant that no one could be deported. The Home Secretary said she was disappointed but not deterred, and preparation for the next flight begins now. Jason Farrell, Sky News.